Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing and I'll be your host. We're going to be talking about a wide range of issues in this program, and if this information interests you, please feel free to press the like and subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. Today I want to talk about a difficult subject: who or what the Antichrist is. Now, I'm only saying this because I think it's necessary to talk about this and to address the elephant in the room. Because when you start talking about Maitreya, people are naturally going to assume that because I'm saying that he's the Christ, other people like Benjamin Creme are saying he's the Christ, and he doesn't fit their interpretation of what the Christ is, then therefore, ergo vis-a-vis, he must be the Antichrist. So when you watch these videos on YouTube or do research, you Google Antichrist, all sorts of garbage comes up really about who or what the people's interpretation of the Antichrist. In fact, I actually think the Antichrist is probably more misinterpreted than who the Christ is. And I think the people who maybe put these videos out, their intention might be good, I guess. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But they're doing people a tremendous disservice because they say people like Obama's the Antichrist, they say Trump's the Antichrist, they say celebrities are the Antichrist or even being used by the devil or whatever. And as well-meaning as they are, I think they're doing a tremendous disservice because it only adds to the confusion for everybody else about who or what the Antichrist is. And the Antichrist, it's not a person, it's an energy. It's an energy that is sent out deliberately, and the intention is to destroy the old ways of thinking, the old ways of relating, the old ways of acting as an antiquated civilization, which, if we could go back in time, we don't relate the same in that way that we do, 100 or so years ago, with the Victorian age and so forth and so forth. We're different. We're a different type of people. We think differently. We see the world differently. And that was a direct result of the destructive energy of the Antichrist, which was deliberately sent out through the Axis powers of Germany, Italy, and Japan during World War I and World War II, especially through this man Hitler. Now, before you disagree with me, which is fine, you can disagree with me if you want or not, I don't care, but before you just outright say no, if we could go back in time 70 years ago, I'm sure there were a lot of Europeans that could say, if you asked them if Hitler was the Antichrist or brought up the thought that he was, I'm sure a lot of people would say, yeah, I could kind of get that because he did so many evil things back then. And I only say this to say that it's not just about Maitreya, but just because somebody doesn't think the way that you do religiously or see things the same way doesn't necessarily mean that they're the Antichrist. But the Antichrist, like I said, is an energy that was sent out. It was sent out during the time of Nero, which was right after Jesus was alive, to help break down the old ways of thinking, to allow that new age at the time, the age of Pisces, to flourish, which brought about the Renaissance and some great things, a powerful and potent individual, which today we're moving into a different age, which is the age of Aquarius, which is the age of synthesis and cooperation, and not so much about the individual, but about the group. So just because people like me or Benjamin Creme claim that Maitreya is the Christ doesn't mean that Maitreya himself is on TV right now claiming to be the Christ. He doesn't. He doesn't care. He's not the slightest bit concerned about whether you think he's the Christ or recognize him as that. He only wants for you to want what he wants for the world, which is a world of cooperation, a world of peace, a saner way of living, so that we don't have, the haves have 90% of the wealth and which is about 1% of the people, and the 99% of the people don't have that. It's not a just way of living. So he's only concerned about peace, justice, and sharing. He's not concerned about being a religious teacher. And in the future videos, I'm going to talk more about Jesus and more about the Antichrist and more about Maitreya. But for right now, I just wanted to kind of share my side of the story about who or what I think the Antichrist is. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to talk to you again in future videos.